Good evening, and welcome to the Penfield Town Board Legislative Session on Wednesday, July 6th, 2022. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. May I ask the town clerk to give a roll call vote?
Cinti.
Here.
Drawe.
Here.
Kohl.
Here.
Lee is absent today, and Ockenden.
Here.
Thank you. We have several communications and announcements for this evening, so get comfortable. And we will start with a proclamation we'd like to present to the Penfield Business Chamber. And we have Steve Conger here, if he would like to come up and take a seat. How are you?
Doing great.
Good. So we are presenting a proclamation to the Penfield Business Chamber for 30 years of involvement in the community. And it reads, whereas the Penfield Business Chamber has long been a cornerstone of the Penfield business community, and whereas the mission of the PBC is to provide advocacy, support, and awareness to businesses in and around Penfield, and whereas the organization began as the Penfield Business Association in 1992 and is now celebrating its 30th year in the Penfield community, and whereas PBC has provided leadership with several townwide initiatives, including the Look Local First program, improvement projects that benefit the Penfield business community, such as Mott's Lane and PenFest, and whereas the PBC provides members of the business community the opportunity to connect and engage with the community and fellow business owners, and whereas the organization continues to grow and evolve, now boasting over 150 members from diverse parts of the local community, and whereas the Penfield community is stronger for having such an organization which contributes to business and economic growth in the community. And now be it resolved that the Penfield Town Board recognizes the Penfield Business Chamber for being part of the community for 30 years, and be it further resolved that the Penfield Town Board thanks the organization for its work and wishes the PBC continued success. Thank you so much.
On behalf of the Penfield Chamber, as the Vice President, I want to thank the Penfield Town Board for this recognition of 30 years. It's amazing that it's been that long, and it's still continuing to grow strong, and we're getting bigger. And Marie, as you know, is the past president. Things are going really well, and we want to thank you for that and continue this success moving forward. So.
Clearly, we left the organization in good hands, so we really appreciate all that the board has done, and we wish the incoming president, Amity Decker, who could not be here this evening, much success.
Yes, well, thank you, and thank you for your continued support as the board. You guys are very supportive of the business community, so we're looking forward to supporting them in the future as well. So thank you for your support.
You're most welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Congrats.
Okay, moving on to, we have a number of announcements. I'm going to start with the town clerk, actually, if that's okay.
Okay. The Shepherd Home, as most of you know, is a not-for-profit hospice care home in Penfield that provides comfort and compassionate care to members of our community with terminal illness. This year, their annual fundraiser golf tournament will be held on Monday, August 15th at Shadow Lake Golf Club, located at 1850 5 Mile Line Road. Registration will begin at 10:30 a.m. with a shotgun start at noon. Cocktail hour and awards will begin at 5:30 p.m. and dinner will be served at 6 p.m. The registration fee is $125 per golfer or $500 per foursome. If you'd like to join us just for dinner, that cost is $40. There are several sponsorship opportunities, and for more information on that, or if you want to sign up for the golf tournament, you can contact me by email at steckloff@penfield.org or call me at 340-8629. You may also call the Shepherd Home for more information at 585-381-0890. And I have one other announcement. which is in regards to our Penfield Ecumenical Food Shelf that is located at 1618 Jackson Road. It's a supplemental food relief organization serving the zip codes 14526 and 14625, and it also serves families of children in the Penfield School District. If you are in need of food, please call the Food Shelf at 234-0799-585 area code and leave a message. A volunteer will return your call within 24 hours. For those interested in donating items for the Food Shelf, they are currently in need of applesauce, beef stew, instant potatoes, oatmeal, mustard, deodorant, laundry detergent, Kleenex, dish soap, toilet paper, hamburger helper, and mayonnaise. If you'd like to learn more about the Food Shelf, please visit PenfieldEcumenicalFoodShelf.com.
Thank you very much. I'd like to move to Councilperson Kohl. You have several announcements.
Okay, I have one announcement and one certificate of recognition I want to read into the record. Town Supervisor Cinti and I attended a Eagle Scout ceremony a couple of weeks ago, and this is a certificate of recognition to Miller Mitras, who attained the rank of Eagle Scout for Troop 9 Seneca Waterways Council. For his Eagle project, he made 24 sensory fidget blankets for comfort care homes in Monroe County. 4 blankets went to Penfield Shepherd Home in remembrance of his grandfather, Bob Shellard, who passed away there in 2013. And so the certificate reads, "Your hard work and dedication are shining examples to those around you. The certificate is awarded in honor of your achievement of the rank of Eagle Scout, and it was dated June 18th. It's signed by Supervisor Marie Cinti, and it also lists Debbie Drawe, Linda Kohl, Candace Lee, and Bob Ockenden." So again, recognizing Miller Mitras for what he did. It was, really well organized, and I've known him for a while. He grew up in my neighborhood, and he's moved away now, but it was fun to go to watch him attain that rank. And the other thing I have is an announcement. And so for the Penfield Public Library, it has summer hours, and the summer hours read from Monday to Thursday, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Saturday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and Sunday it's closed. So if you're interested in going to the library, especially you guys, there's different hours for the summer. So thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Councilperson Ockenden.
Thank you, Supervisor Cinti. I do have a couple tonight. The first is just a reminder to the public that our July public meeting schedule is posted on our website at www.penfield.org. And on that, you will find the dates and times of our board meetings, not only the town board, but as well as conservation, planning, library, zoning, historic preservation, energy, and environment. So those meetings are posted again on the website, www.penfield.org. And then secondly, just a reminder or notice to the public that the town of Penfield has several employment opportunities available. The town is hiring in the following departments: building, engineering, sewer, community TV, IT, justice courts, history room, highway department, public works, assessor's office, and facilities. So again, if you're interested in any of these positions, check out our website. The information on how to apply is there. It's www.penfield.org/employment. There are several departments hiring, so please, if you have an interest, take a look at the website, and you can follow the instructions there to apply. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilperson Ockenden. Councilperson Drawe.
Thank you, Madam Supervisor. I have a couple announcements tonight. The summer's been beautiful, as everyone, I'm sure, is out enjoying it. We have our summer concert schedule here on Tuesday nights, right behind the town hall here at in the Penfield Amphitheater and Kiwanis Stage in Veterans Memorial Park. And they are Tuesday nights. The next concert is going to be the Penfield Big Band on July 12th. It's up on the screen right now. Mr. Loops is on July 19th. Hey Mabel is on July 26th, and Jediah Seeley is on August 2nd. So the weather has been beautiful, so I'm sure come out and enjoy some nice music here with your friends and family. And my second announcement is On this Saturday, our Penfield Trails is having a guided scenic trek in Abraham Lincoln Park on 1559 Empire Boulevard, and that begins at 9 a.m. So you can go out and explore the ups and downs of the county park, from the wooded uplands to the Bay Shore trail connections. You meet at the playground parking lot off Empire Boulevard and look for the hike signs. So to register, you can see that, you can scan actually right on the screen if you wish to, or go to www.penfield.org/hike. Or call 340-8655. This is a beautiful park. If you have never been to it, I've been it many times, and it should be beautiful. It goes right back down into the to our beautiful shores of the bay. And lastly, I just wanted to thank a couple groups that have helped to beautify the Four Corners. One of the things I think that our board is wanting us to do, our residents are asking for more to beautify our town a little bit more, and I wanted to especially thank Kohl. And there's on screen right now a picture of one of the pots. They donated 4 pots in the Four Corners, and we kind of got a late start on that, so they maybe weren't as big as we would have liked, but we're starting small, so we want to thank them for their donation of those pots. And also, I should also thank the Penfield Rotary. I know it was mentioned before, the beautiful pots that they have over in Shuffleburger Park. So it really is helping to beautify our Four Corners. So every little bit helps. So as you're coming through, slow down on 441 and take a look at some of the flowers. So thank you.
Right, so more to come with the Four Corners improvements, we hope. So
yes,
that's a start. And I also do want to mention that Nancy Maurer of the Root Tenders Garden also assisted with Penfield Rotary.
Yes, thank you. I should have mentioned that. Thank you.
You know, one thing, I'd like to thank you for following up to get those flags up for the 4th of July. You know, we haven't had them up in a few years, and there has been talk about wanting to have a little more flag around the when we have our parade, and it was up on the 5 Mile Line and Baird Road, and as much as we could get into the Four Corners. So it helped make it, you know, Independence Day feel to it also. Appreciated that.
Agreed.
Oh, thank you very much. I also want to mention that we're looking to add more metal brackets so that we can put more flags up. So that was just, again, a taste of things to come.
Very
but
good.
Thank you very much. I do have a couple of announcements as well. The first thing is that I wanted to just let everyone know, as part of our efforts to be better communicators and have better signage in the community, the Penfield Recreation Department does now have a sign marking its door entrance at the community center. So it's right there in the back, and it's very clearly marked now, so you can't miss it. And again, that's part of our ongoing endeavor to, you know, make things user-friendly and communicate more effectively. So thank you very much to the Penfield Recreation Department for putting that up. The last thing I want to do is just also give a shout out and a very deep, heartfelt thank you to the many, many departments and organizations that made for a smooth Independence Day parade and fireworks event. At the very least, it is DPW, including our facilities, Highway Department, Parks Department, sewer even too, Recreation Department, the Penfield Ambulance and the Penfield Fire Department also helped out with that. Also for safety, we had Monroe County Sheriff's Office and the New York State Police were here as well. We also had our fire marshal and code enforcement officers really just making sure that the event went off smoothly. We had intercept security for the evening, again, making sure that everyone was safe. And I do just want to thank them. That is a very long day for them. That begins at 5:30 in the morning, and I think the last person punched out at around 1 a.m. The trash was all picked up the very next day. So I do want to thank them. It just takes a lot of people to do a community-wide event like that. And also PCTV, how could I forget them? So again, thank you so much for everything that you did. Okay, and we have one more presentation this evening, and that is from our explorers. And I'm wondering if Bowden could come on up and give a brief presentation about the work of the explorers.
I'd like to have our Lieutenant Cinti Nathan come up, please.
Sure thing.
And could you repeat your name for the record?
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Cinti Nathan. I am the first lieutenant at Penfield Ambulance. I am an explorer here, and I've prepared a little speech to inform everyone about our endeavors over at Penfield Ambulance. As I said earlier, I am the first lieutenant at Penfield Volunteer Emergency Ambulance, and I am a certified first responder. I've been at this base for about 2.5 years, and I have loved every minute of it. Our Explorer program offers a unique exposure for high school students to start learning how to take care of patients in an emergency pre-hospital setting. We hold bi-weekly drills at the base to practice our skills, learn about new concepts, and train for the field. At 16 years old, explorers can start to ride along on the ambulances as they are called out to houses. Explorers must pass preliminary practicals and exams before riding to ensure that the explorer is ready and prepared to manage live patients. On ride-alongs, explorers take patient vitals, assist in their supervising EMT or paramedic with keeping the patient stable, and interact with emergency hospital personnel. We are constantly evolving and learning as a group, and we continue to tweak our standards to ensure the best possible care for our patients. All of us are extremely thankful and grateful to have this incredible opportunity for us to take advantage of, and we will continue to perform to the best of our ability to benefit our patients and reflect positively on Penfield Ambulance. And finally, I'd like to thank our phenomenal Explorer advisor, Bowden Erstenuik, for his rock-solid leadership and extensive emergency care training that he provides us with. Thank you, everyone, for having us here.
Thank you so much. Well, before you get up, I just want to make sure that, do you have any questions for Sita? No?
Do you take any other training besides at Penfield Ambulance? Are you involved in any other emergency medical services?
I am, yes. I attend Penfield High School. I'm a rising senior there, and we have our EMCC programs, and I am with the Emergency Services program there. So that is a half-day program for me. I am there for the first 5 periods of the day, and then the other half I take a bus over to Parenton Ambulance, and most of my fellow explorers behind me are involved in that program as well, and we all train for our emergency medical services, and we acquire further training there.
Great. I'm familiar with the program. It's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Absolutely.
When you guys just tell us what your names are?
Oh, of course, yes. Behind me is Bowden Erstenuik, our supervisor. Next to him is Aura Barnes. Kohl, our captain, Delaney, Nicole, Tina, and Tyler.
Great. Thank you.
And Mary, yes, Mary behind Aura.
It's very nice to meet you all.
Yes.
Just to repeat one more time, if somebody does have an interest in joining the Explorers, how would they do that?
There is a website that we have. You can look there, and there's an email address there that you can email our advisor Bowden for, but you can always just walk in if you have an interest. We are at the Penfield Volunteer Emergency Ambulance Base. You can just walk in the front door and express interest, and we'll hold you for our first drill, and if you like it, hopefully we'll see you back again.
Thank you very much.
Of course.
Councilperson Kohl?
No, I'm good.
I have a question.
Yes.
What are the ages? So can you be 16 and then you could be any age?
Sure. Mostly it's for high school students, so I believe the minimum age requirement is 14 years old, and at 16 you start riding, and then I think you can go until 18, and then at that point you can officially start working for the base as an EMT.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Of course, thank you for having me.
And thank you to Bowden and the other explorers for coming out this evening. I think that's really important to share what our community has to offer. So thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Take care. You're most welcome to stay. If
We're gonna
I understand that and will not take it personally at all.
Thanks.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
All right, that concludes our communication and announcements for this evening. We do not have any public hearings scheduled this evening, so we'll move right into our public participation. This is our first session of public participation, and there are 3 ways to contribute. You can be here in person. You can call us at 340-8771, or you can reach us through the website at penfield.org. And would the town clerk let me know if there's anyone who wishes to speak?
Yes, at this point, we have 3 people, and the first one is Tina Green.
Tina? Ms. Green, do you want to come up and give your name and address? Welcome.
Good evening to Mrs. Supervisor, Town Supervisor, and to all of the council here.
So I might actually have you speak just a little bit closer to the microphone.
Can I adapt it like this?
And just move that
Move
right
it
to
right
in
up,
front
yeah.
of you. There you go. Up
Okay,
a little.
how's that? Is that better?
Perfect.
Okay, good. So, thank you for having me, allowing me to speak my peace of mind with, it's not my first time here.
Ms. Green, before you go too far, can you just list your address for the town clerk?
Okay, so I live at 200 YMCA Way, Penfield,
Thank you
New York.
very much. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a
Go ahead.
resident there. And so this is not my first time being here and presenting a health and safety issue in which Penfield apparently has issues with, and I've heard before that you have addressed some of them. However, the town supervisor before you, Miss, how do you say it, Cinti?
Yes.
Okay. I had spoken with him, and but actually it wasn't to any avail. So I'm just gonna reiterate what happened before. At the residence, at the housing complex where I'm a resident of, my apartment where I reside at and the apartment underneath me, apparently I was being burnt. I don't know what instrument is being used. However, I have went to the doctors on several occasions so that they can address it and get medical attention for it. I've also called the sheriff's office as a 911 call on numerous accounts, and they did respond. And there was an incident where I asked to see the footage in our complex to know who per se was going in and out of the apartment underneath me since this was happening. And so on this particular day, the housekeeper, not the housekeeper, but the, oh goodness, help me, Lord. Maintenance gentleman, he was there, and I asked him, I called down and I said, I'd like to see footage, and he said, what day? And I said, today. He said, what time? And then it's like he went into a stupor and couldn't say anything. And so I came downstairs to address it and ask him, I would like to see it. And he says, well, I don't feel comfortable. I said, okay, fine. I got on the phone, and I just called 911, and I said that the maintenance man doesn't feel comfortable with allowing me to view the footage with him, so I need you all to come so that assist me, to see it. They got there, and I wasn't allowed to enter in to see the footage. And I was kind of puzzled because to me it didn't make sense, because that's what the call was for, because maintenance didn't feel comfortable with viewing it with me. So I asked for their assistance. I didn't ask for them to just come view it. I want to be a partaker with them. So I had asked for the paperwork that goes along with it, because when you make a call, you get a docket. Well, not a docket, but you do get a number. A docket is the court paper, but you get a number, and that's how you get your transcript from it for what transpired there. So actually, at first I was denied it, and as of to date, I still haven't received it. So I sent out letters, certified return receipt, to the various sheriff's office chiefs in that. I was just trying to do proper protocol so that they would assist me with getting the piece of paper of the attending officers that responded. And I still didn't get it. However, there is a process that we all know of called FOIL. But I was like, why would I have to go to that extent when that is, you should be able to get that without going through that process to obtain that information. So anyhow, and that was in November of 2021 when that transpired. So in February, I just got sick and tired of still going through getting medical attention, and I just stopped calling the 911 because certain other things were said, whereas like they wanted to look like a mental health issue, and I was like, wait a minute, I was like, I understand mental health quite well, but when it's observable, visual, you can touch it, that is not anything that's happening within the mind. That is physical. That is observable. That is not mental. So at one point, because I kept telling them this was happening, they had sent out, they wanted to do a mental arrest. But I just let them know, look here, I'm not uneducated. I did go to school for psychology, teaching, mental health, chemical dependency counselor. So I am not unlearned. So there's no way that you will even begin to proceed with something like that, because you have no grounds for it. And so as we had our conversation, it went well because the lady understood and she knew that, yes, I very well knew what I was talking about. I didn't have to go into, the different behavioral and all that kind of psychology stuff. I didn't have to do that, And then I also, just explained that I do have a group of people that I can talk with, chaplains in that, because I went to chaplaincy school. So anyhow, I was able to talk with her, and I told her, she said, if you ever need me, here's my number. And I said, fine, thank you. And I took the card because, you just never know. So in February, I wrote a cease and desist letter to the attending residents from that address where I was feeling like I was being burnt. And I gave them 30 days to respond. And if they didn't respond, then I would send another letter to go and proceed with legal counsel and whatever happens from there. So upon that, they happened to exit out. They moved. So they moved, and someone else moved in. The same thing happened, and the letter that I sent them, it was really, the language it incorporated for the resident, their company, and whoever was to be in that dwelling place. If that stuff commenced, that they were going to be part of whatever I was going to do. So they stayed for a little bit, and then all of a sudden, they moved out. So I had asked if I could have been moved from where I was residing because there were other apartments that were available. However, by no means was I able to move because I guess it wasn't considered to be something that management would consider I need to be removed or put into a different housing, part of the building. And so.
Ms. Green, I'm just curious, how can the town board assist?
Well, so the place is empty.
Okay.
And it's still happening. And they, and I will share with you after I finish, if you don't mind. I'd like to just finish this.
Sure thing.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So the apartment under me is vacant. However, I still get burnt. And so I decided, well, this doesn't make sense. Okay, nobody's there. Why is this happening? So I happened to go downstairs and find that the door was unlocked. And I was like, well, gee, that's not the norm when you have nobody residing in there. If you're going to work on the place, you do your work, and then you lock it up after you're done. That's how it normally goes. In our family, there's homeowners, and there are also those that own housing, and so that's only normal. So then I would also hear people down there, hear a dog barking down there, and I was like, my gosh, I'm just fed up at this point. I had sent letters also, return receipt, to the various higher up of the companies, and nobody absolutely responded. So I go, okay, all right. So they're not going to address this. So I said, let me come back again to you all and see if you all wanted to say anything to the management. And the other thing is, they're still going through issues of leaving the doors unlocked there. So it's a locked place, but it's not locked. You could walk in and out freely without your fog. So if anyone wanted to come in, they can just come in. How that happens, I don't know. But last night, that certainly happened. I went down there, and it was like maybe 2 or 3 in the morning. I came, and the door was, I could just go in. I was like, wow, this shouldn't be happening. So I said that what was happening to me, I would not be quiet about it because I know it could be happening to others, the very same thing that's happening to me. And maybe they're afraid to be vocal about it, but I'm just not, because that doesn't make sense when you know something's happening to you and then to shut up your mouth. Because to me, that's ludicrous, and fear should not be a factor when it comes to your health or when somebody is violating you. That doesn't make sense. I'm not going to shut my mouth for, number one, they don't own this body. I do. And not only I, but the person who made it, and that's the Lord. So I'm not going to let anyone perpetrate against me and me shut my mouth and think I will keep it close. Fear is not an issue. So I invited other people to come that has been experiencing things similar to me. And I only shared about one thing. So at this time, I'd like you to welcome the next guest speaker. Thank
Okay.
you.
Sure. Would you like to come up? Would anyone like to come up?
It's Lena Harewood would be next.
Thank you, Lena.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello. So, Lena, could you also just give your name and your address for the record?
Sure. My name is Lana Harewood. I live at number 2 Crown Oak Drive. Mhm. Yeah. I live at number 2 Crown Oak Drive in Penfield, and I've been living there for 19 years, almost.
Huh?
19 years. And
Welcome.
I want to sound an alarm because what Tina is saying, it started to happen to me, to my knowledge, in 2019, just before COVID. And it has been going on at Crown Oak, even Willow Pond, and other places unknown to others. And I wrote it down because I said I want to make sure that I say all that I have to say. There's a well-organized group of people who are using devices of harassment and also devices that cause harm. You cannot see it because only a camera, like a special camera, could pick it up, like a laser, like it's a special laser that they're using to burn. They burn me in my head, in my breast, my ears, my toes, my feet. They've been burning me in my chest. They've been using a heat beam that is, it really burns you up. A heat beam that make you faint, pour with sweat like water. They beam a high-pitched sound. I'm gonna play it for you. They beam a high-pitched sound. I don't know if, let's see, did I put it up? Yeah. Hold on. Oh, sorry. They beam that high pitched sound, sorry about that, let me just take this down. In your ears when you go into bed, when you wake up in the morning, they're beaming it in the house, in your apartment. And that high pitched sound does a lot of things. It gives you like a vertigo, fainting, kind of dizziness, headaches. It's making the people pee and poop their pants right where they are, wherever they are, it doesn't matter. It's causing panic attacks, heart racing, ill feeling, in the morning, faintness, dizziness, and they beam it at your throat. They're doing this, and my camera picked up the laser coming down in my apartment, and it could only be seen somehow by the camera. Can't see it in your eye. You can't see it with your own eyes. They were doing it all night. I put the camera in the window, and you see the laser beam coming in at the window, and it's moving up, down, all around. They're searching for me in the house to burn me. They even hit my son. And you will see him throwing up his arms, and he's like, and I said, okay. I said, all right. So what I have been doing is we try to get out of the house. When we get out of the house, go outside, they follow us because they're a well-organized group. They tag each other.
Anna?
Yes.
How can the town board assist? What is it you think we could do to help?
We are sounding an alarm. This is going on in Penfield. We are not the only ones that is happening to. It's happening to quite a few people.
Do you think that this is something that you'd be able to meet with me about individually so that I could hear more at length?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's really bad. They're not stopping, no matter if you ask them to, because you know, I could identify some of the people who are doing this, but they refuse to stop.
Okay. So it sounds like it sounds like you're describing something that, you know, is a criminal matter, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm very happy to sit with you and see how we can best advocate for you. Now, I believe the town clerk has your contact information, correct?
Yes.
I do not have any phone numbers, so it might
I didn't
be.
put my phone? I think I did.
You may have. I don't have the other two. Yes, I have yours. I don't have Tina's, and I don't have the next speaker's. So when you're done, please come and give me those so we can have it for.
Yes.
Okay, so let's do this. Why don't you give your phone number, and my office will call tomorrow to set up a time for both of you to come in, if that's okay. Would that be all right?
That'd be good.
Okay. I really appreciate it, and thank you.
Thank you
for
visiting
visiting this evening.
We just wanted everybody to know because they seem to be out there, getting out there in the community. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
I also have Penny Hall.
She's not here at the moment.
Okay.
But if you don't know, her son is disabled and he can't speak for himself. And that's why I said when I came the first time, I'm here to speak for those who can't speak.
You're going to have to sit.
Yeah, that's okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. It's just the
Doesn't matter.
microphone has to pick you up.
Okay, so as I was saying, that her son is disabled. He can't speak. So he can't speak for himself, but he can gesture to let you know something is happening. And so his mom was more than right to appear before you because we're like the voices for those who don't understand what's going on. But not only that, I just want to kind of piggyback on what she was saying about the sound. The very sound that she was talking about, every time I'd go to a certain entity, that sound would, you could hear it. But not everybody could hear the audio of it. You have to have just, your ears have to have a certain sensitivity to it, because when I kept hearing it, I kept saying, gee, I wonder if anyone hears it every time I'd enter a place and I'd exit a place. Finally, somebody heard it, and they had been paying attention. And they made light to it. And they said, every time this young lady comes in here, this sounds off. Do you not hear it? And they're like, no. And then she was like, just listen. And so I purposefully went out and came back in. And she says, did you guys not hear it? And the other person heard it and said, yes, I hear it. And so it's factual. And it just seems ludicrous that people would stoop to measures like that. But we're living in some evil days, and technology is everything. Technology is everything all around us, and it's got to be technology.
So I appreciate that. I do think that I'm getting a good sense of what the concerns are from both you and Lana. And again, I'm very happy to meet with you individually. It might be better use of time, too, because then we can talk a little more freely.
Certainly.
Is that all right?
Yeah, and more personable, because everything has not been shared.
Okay.
Thank you.
Then I think it's really important that we speak then.
yes.
Okay.
And the next person, Miss Penny, she is supposed to be here. Actually, she was en route as I was filling out the paper, but she hasn't made it here yet.
Well, we do have a second public participation at the end of the meeting, so if she comes, she could speak then.
Okay,
Okay.
so I'll call her. Thank you.
Thank you.
Tina?
Yes.
Put your phone number on this.
Is there anyone else who wishes to speak during public participation? Okay, I don't see anyone on the phone or online, so we'll conclude this public participation session, and we'll move on to additions and deletions to the agenda. Does anyone have any additions or deletions?
I do, Madam Supervisor. I'd like to add 22T-181 under new business.
Okay, that's a resolution?
Yes, I'm sorry, resolution. And I should point out, it's a resolution authorization to maintain properties and assess the charges to the 2022 property tax bills. And there is one correction. It came under Councilman Ockenden, and it should be under Law and Finance under myself. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll note that addition under new business. Next, we'll move on to the approval of minutes from June 1st.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I think I'm okay just to add it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. That's fine. Approval of minutes from June 1st, 2022.
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by Councilperson Kohl and a second by Councilperson Ockenden. If there are no questions or comments, the town clerk can call a roll call vote.
Cinti?
Aye.
Drawe?
Aye.
Kohl?
Aye.
Ockenden?
Aye.
4 ayes.
I'd like to ask if there were any petitions received by the town clerk, town attorney, or town board members.
No, ma'am.
Okay, moving on, we'll go right into our resolutions by function.
Setting a public hearing to consider a local law establishing the cannabis retail dispensary law.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas the town board of the town of Penfield wishes to consider adopting the proposed local law number 3 of 2022, which would allow the town of Penfield to amend Chapter 250 of the Penfield Town Code, a zoning ordinance to create regulations governing the location and development of cannabis retail dispensaries. The proposed amendment includes modifying Article 8 of the zoning code ordinance and to add cannabis retail dispensaries as a conditional use in 3 specified districts, and outline the required review and approval process, and establish the relations for the time, place, and manner in which this use is located within our town of Penfield, as well as in addition to Article 2 and the terms defined. And so whereas the town board is best suited to act as the lead agency within the State Environmental Quality Review Act, which is SEQR, and thus does hereby designate itself as lead agency pursuant to SEQR. So whereas the subject application is determined to be an unlisted action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act. So therefore be it resolved that the town board will hold a public hearing at the Penfield Town Hall on August 3rd, 2022 at 7 p.m. on the state to consider the said proposal and to hear all persons interested in the question of the adoption of local law number 3 of 2022, which would allow the town of Penfield to amend Chapter 250 of the Penfield Town Code zoning ordinance to create regulations on governing of these cannabis retail dispensaries. And be it further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to publish and post a notice of the public hearing on the official signboard of the town in the prescribed manner by law. The first publication, therefore, to be not less than 5 days and not more than 30 days before this date set for the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion from Councilperson Drawe and a second from Councilperson Kohl. Are there any questions? Okay, seeing none, we can go to a roll call vote.
Cinti?
Aye.
Drawe?
Aye.
Kohl?
Aye.
Ockenden?
Aye.
4 ayes.
And this complete version of the law that we're considering will be up on the website so that you can review it.
Should have mentioned that. Thank you.
No problem. All right.
The next one is setting a public hearing for adoption of local law number 4 of 2022 to be known as mixed-use district moratorium law.
So moved.
Second.
So the town board has determined that the modifications may be needed in the mixed-use district regulations contained in Section 250-5.12 of the town code. And the guidance and requirements of this are set forward in the mixed-use development manual in order to provide clarity and consistency in the development review process of this district. The town desires to suspend the consideration of any future applications while it reviews and updates as needed the existing regulations, requirements, and considerations and procedures for review. So whereas this proposed moratorium would not apply to any current applications received or under review before the adoption of this resolution. Whereas the proposed moratorium will be in effect for 6 months after the effective date, and whereas the town board of the town of Penfield wishes to consider adopting the proposed local law number 4 of 2022, which would establish this moratorium and prohibit the consideration of future development applications while this moratorium is in effect. And the Penfield Town Board is best suited to act as the lead agency within the meaning of the State Environmental Quality Review seeker and does hereby designate itself as lead agency. And so now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Penfield shall hold a public hearing on July 20th at 7 p.m. On the said date to consider this proposal and to hear all persons interested on the question of the adoption of the local law number 4. A copy of this is attached herefore in Schedule A and made part of further. And be it further that the town clerk be and hereby is directed to publish and post a notice of the public hearing on the official signboard in the town in a manner prescribed by law, and the first publication thereof not to be less than 5 days and not more than 30 days before the date set for this public hearing. And as the supervisor mentioned before, this local law mixed-use moratorium will be on the website as well, so you can check that out before the public hearing. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilperson Drawe and a second by Councilperson Ockenden. All in roll call vote then?
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Oh, excuse me. Did we amend that to resolve? I'm so sorry.
What?
There was a typo in Schedule A that I wanted to note for the record. And I know the town clerk sent an amended copy. Do we have to note that in the record? Yes. Okay, so under Section 3, Purpose and Intent, line 4 reads, in an effort to revolve, and that should read, in an effort to resolve.
That should be sufficient.
Okay, thank you. Do we need to vote on that or just note it for the record?
That should be sufficient.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, resolution number 176, granting incentive zoning for a portion of 41 Woodhaven Drive, ancillary parking for K2 Brothers Brewing.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas John Antamasso is acting as lead agent for the K2 Brothers Brewing, submitted an application for incentive zoning to allow the construction of an ancillary parking area in a portion of 41 Woodhaven Drive. The parking is proposed to support the existing operation and allow the future expansion of K2 Brothers Brewing, located at 1221 Empire Boulevard. And whereas the town board of the town of Penfield held a public hearing on April 20th, 2022, and heard all persons interested in the proposed incentive zoning project located on this portion of 41 Woodhaven Drive. And whereas the town board received a copy of the agreement between the owner of K2 Brothers Brewing and the owner of 41 Woodhaven Drive, which establishes the terms of a purchase and cost sharing amount of the proposed improvements to Empire Boulevard, which is a transportation enhancement that meets the requirements set forth in the 255A And whereas the town board is acting as lead agency in the meaning of the seeker and designates itself as a lead agency pursuant to seeker. It classifies this proposal as an unlisted action, and of the EAF finds that the proposal will not have a significant effect on the environment based on analysis contained in parts 2 and 3 of the short environmental review form. So now, therefore, be it resolved that the town board hereby makes a determination that no large or moderate adverse impacts are associated with this action and adopts a negative declaration for this proposal. And be it further resolved that the application's request for incentive zoning to allow the construction of an ancillary parking area in a portion of 41 Woodhaven Drive, which is SBL 108.10-1-1.111, zone residential 120. The parking is proposed to support the existing operation and allow the future expansion of K2 Brothers Brewing, located again at 1221 Empire Boulevard, is hereby granted, subject to the following conditions. And there are 13 conditions of this, and I will read the that I know at length we've gone through in work sessions and discussed this all as a board. I will just reiterate the end. The board bases its decision to approve the proposal on the following findings: that this proposal incentive would contribute to the installation of a turning lane along Empire Boulevard, which would improve safety along this primary corridor. Also, the proposed use of this ancillary parking lot encourages this business development and expansion by supporting an existing successful business operation and allowing for future expansion, which is a stated goal in the town's comprehensive plan. And the underlying zoning would allow residential subdivision and development, which would be a more intensive use than the proposed parking lot. And last, a newly formed parcel upon which the parking lot will be developed could not be developed or sold separately unless the town board conducted a future review and granted its approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Take a breath.
I know. I was going to read all 13, but I think you can look at those if you'd like to see. I know we've talked about it a number of times. Thank you.
Yeah, and we did share all those conditions with the applicant. So we have a motion from Councilperson Drawe and a second from Councilperson Kohl. Any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Okay, the next two aren't as long, Debbie.
Yeah, no, I know they're I know they're not.
Budget transfers in the general fund for facilities.
So moved.
Second.
So this is a kind of routine. We do some budget transfers, and it's necessary to the facilities account for payment of the town's contract with TELSA. And whereas the town board desires to have an up-to-date budget in relation to the current income and expenditures, so therefore be it resolved that the following 2022 budget transfers be approved. From A00-1990-004-4040, which is a regular contingency of $30,000, and again, the DBW administrator full-time employees of $10,000, and then the medical retired employees of $25,000 will all be transferred to contractual services, and so the total amount of all those is $65,000. Thank you.
You're done?
I'm done.
We have a motion by Councilperson Drawe and a second by Councilperson Ockenden.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Budget transfer in the general fund for sidewalk maintenance.
So moved.
Second.
So this transfer is necessary within the sidewalk account for additional sidewalk repair and block replacement. So whereas the town board again desires to have an up-to-date budget in relation to the current income and expenditures, so be it resolved that the following 2022 budget transfers be approved: from the new sidewalk installation of $9,000 to sidewalk maintenance, $9,000. Thank you.
Okay, and just for the public watching, this current resolution and the one prior really are just money transfers from one account to another, and they're pretty standard. So we have a motion by Councilperson Drawe and a second by Councilperson Kohl.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Advertising for sealed bids for audio board for Penfield Community Television.
So moved.
Second.
Be it resolved that the cable television coordinator be hereby authorized to advertise in a manner prescribed by law for sealed proposals to furnish the Town of Penfield Community Television Department with the following: audio board and support equipment. Be it resolved that the audio board and support equipment offered in said proposal shall be in accordance with specifications prepared by the cable television coordinator. Specifications will be available for pickup in the town clerk's office on July 13th. Sealed proposals are to be received in the office of the town clerk until July 21st at 11 a.m. local time, and then be opened and read publicly by the town clerk.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilperson Kohl and a second by Councilperson Ockenden.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes. Authorization for supervisor to sign recreation contracts.
So moved.
Second.
This authorizes the town supervisor to sign 3 recreation contracts that deal with programs that are occurring this summer.
Okay, and we have a motion by Councilperson Kohl and a second by Councilperson Drawe. Are there any questions about this? Okay.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Thank you. Is there any old business before the board? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our new business, and Councilperson Drawe does have a resolution for action tonight.
Authorization to maintain properties and assess the charges to the 2022 property tax bills.
So moved.
Second.
So whereas on December 16th of 2015, the Town Board of the Town of Penfield adopted a resolution to enact Local Law Number 3 of 2015 entitled "A Local Law to Provide for the Codification of the Local Laws, Ordinances, and Certain Resolutions of the Town of Penfield into a Municipal Code to be designated the Code of the Town of Penfield." And the purpose of this code, among other things, is to provide for the safety, the health, the protection, and the general welfare of persons and property in the Town of Penfield by requiring the maintenance of all such properties within the town. And the property owners of 1600 Penfield Road have failed to maintain the subject properties in accordance with the applicable code requirements, which is resulting in concerns for the safety, the health, and general welfare of the persons and properties. The town staff has continually requested the maintenance of the subject properties by the owners, and thereof with no result. So now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby authorizes the building and code compliance inspector to have the properties appropriately maintained. Be it further resolved that the town board further authorizes that the cost of the said maintenance and any necessary subsequent maintenance during the 2022 season also be charged to the 2023 property tax bill for the subject properties. Thank you.
Thank you. I have a motion by Councilperson Drawe and a second by Councilperson Kohl. Are there any questions about this resolution? Okay.
Cinti.
Aye.
Drawe.
Aye.
Kohl.
Aye.
Ockenden.
Aye.
4 ayes.
Thank you. I believe that concludes our new business, so we'll be on our second section of public participation. Again, you can call us at 340-8771, reach us online at penfield.org, or you can come and speak in the audience. Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to speak?
Is Penny Hall here?
Yes.
Okay. Would Penny like to come up?
Yes.
Great.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
Hello. So Penny, can you just state your name and address for the record?
My name is Irma Penny Hall, and my address is 200 YMCA Way, apartment 320, Penfield, New York, 14526.
Thank you very much and welcome.
Thank you.
So I know that you are here to speak about the issue that Tina and Lana also spoke about as well. So
Yes.
do you have anything new that you would like to add?
It's just that I'm an asthmatic, and the residents under me smokes a lot, and their guests that they have there but they're not the only ones. But I am here concerning me, right, at this point. They have had warnings. I've gone to the office twice. My neighbor above me, which is at care, she smells it. I live on 3, she lives on 4, he lives on 2. And it's strong. And we have been having this issue for over a year now. And we have been to the office, we complained about it. I talked to the office yesterday, the day before, and I called corporate. And Maria got back to me today. They said they're going to try to resolve it, but it's been going on over a year now. So how long does it take to resolve it? You know, I mean, they know the rules there. Everybody does not smoke. So why are we being inconvenienced by someone who does want to smoke? We cannot enjoy where we live and pay rent for because of someone else. And I don't think it's fair for us to be there under these conditions. I really don't.
Penny, I just have a quick question, and I don't mean to interrupt you.
It's okay.
Is there a no smoking policy indoors?
Yes.
There
Yes.
is. Okay.
Yes.
So
it's
they're
in
not
the,
going
it's in
outside.
The lease. It's in the lease.
Okay.
And they were sent a letter. They ignored the letter, and they still were smoking. Even in the late hours of the night, you can smell this stuff. And it's getting to be to where my health is at stake, and not only mine, but other people's too, but mostly mine because he's like right downstairs up under me. And it's not that I'm a complainer, but this is my health, this is me. So I'm not trying to leave here, you know, too soon, but I want to enjoy where I'm paying rent for.
No, I think you're advocating for yourself, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Can you just tell me also, and I'm sorry for so many questions.
It's okay.
Who did you speak to?
I
along the
spoke
line?
to Sandy in the office, our office manager.
Okay. And then Maria, you said?
Maria is at home leasing downtown, the corporate office.
Okay. So I would offer you the same thing. Is this something that we could talk about offline as well, so that I can sort of figure out what the best way forward is?
Of course.
Okay. Good. Is there anything else you wanted to add?
Not at this point. I think I'll write the rest of it down if it comes to mind. But at this point, I just wanted to, you know, to let somebody know that can help with this because it's an ongoing problem.
I will do my best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And Penny, if you could, before you leave, I need your telephone number.
Yes,
So our
excuse me.
supervisor's office could get a hold of you.
Right. And you can probably expect a call Thursday or Friday.
Thank you.
Okay? Well, all of you, Thursday or Friday. It might not be tomorrow. Okay? Is there anyone else?
I'm sorry. They're supposed to have a meeting or something. She's supposed to call her tomorrow. She said she's going to get back to me.
Okay. Sandy or Maria?
Yes, both.
Okay, great. Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to speak in the audience? Okay, I don't see anyone online, nor do I see anyone on hold on the telephone. So I will declare this public participation session closed. There is no need for an executive session this evening. Our next legislative meeting will be July 20th, 2022. And seeing no other comments, I'd like to declare this meeting adjourned at 8:10 p.m. And I want to thank PCTV and Greg over here, as well as our town attorney and town clerk for their help tonight. Thank you.